Welcome to Wonder and Wildflower, the podcast where we talk about the beautiful chaos of family life. I'm your host, Christine, and I'm joined by my co-host, Xander.
That co-host spot. When are you gonna fill that?
I'm gonna have
With someone other than me.
You're my favorite person to talk to, but I am gonna have some friends join soon.
How soon is soon?
Probably next month, because we're going away and you have family coming in, so there's some things going on.
Not soon enough. I mean, I like talking to you. I love talking to you. Mm-hmm. I just think, I was going to say but I like talking to you, period. Hard stop. I like when you bring in the conversations that you have with your friends as well. Both near and far.
Yes, me too. I have fantastic friends.
So what are we talking about today?
Screen time.
Screen time again?
Yes.
Okay. What about it?
One of my favorite things to talk about. So remember back when your kids used to just throw like major temper tantrums every time we take away the pod?
Well, I mean, why my kids?
Because when they're not listening, they're yours. Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I have more of the not listening, probably DNA than you do.
Very much so. I'm very obedient. So yeah, I remember those days pretty clearly. But what if I told you that meltdowns were just the tip of the iceberg?
I would say, I'm trying to think back as to how that played out. That would be in the tip of the iceberg. I don't know. Tell me.
Okay. Well, my point being that yes, meltdowns suck, right? And they're no fun for anybody, and they normally make the whole house meltdown.
True.
But there's more to it than just that. So the meltdowns, but what's causing the meltdowns? What's going on in their brains? What's going on with their attention span? And just the safety alone of the internet and these games and things that our kids are given access to at such a young age, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel as if parents just aren't aware of all the dangers that kind of go around. I remember it was maybe last year or the year before. What's the one app that
we took away?
Yeah. Roblox, that's what it was. Because this mom hopped on Instagram and you sent it to me and I was like, F no.
Yeah, I think that was probably closer to 2 years ago now. Yeah, because we lived at the other house. And yeah, that was Roblox, and then mom got one, and she had a pretty hefty following. I think her son's like a football player or something. I don't remember correctly. But her daughter was approached by a predator. And we've heard more and more stories like that. There was a story in Delaware near where we used to live of a girl who was taken. And they got her back. But from meeting a predator on Roblox.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think parents just either choose not to know, because it's a lot to know. You have to be intentional about finding it out.
Yeah.
And you have to be intentional about setting the rules and the boundaries. And sometimes it's just easier just to not. But I don't know if you heard this week, the Surgeon General of the United States has issued a warning that we are in a youth mental health crisis. And one of the biggest factors of that youth mental health crisis is the screens and the social media specifically.
But you're not really not on board with government.
I don't typically take
you question it.
I do. But I am.
So why this one?
Because it makes sense. It's not a ridiculous thing. And because I have done my own research on it, right? So when you hear, you gotta do that critical thinking thing. When you hear things in the government,
what thing?
Critical thinking. It's lacking in the world today. When you hear things and learn things, okay, so now it's my job to go and find out what that looks like. And so because I have engrossed myself in podcasts and books and articles and documentaries and all the things, I can say I am on board with this government declaration.
The declaration of it.
Most of them I'm not. So yeah, that is.
So repeat for me again, because I wasn't intentionally listening. Repeat for me again what it said.
That we are in the middle or in the midst of a youth mental health crisis. And one of the biggest components of that is social media.
Okay. I can, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of how, I know how it affects me.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even say specific applications, just screen time in general. For instance,
Yes.
like when I am the rare chance these days where I'm sitting down playing a video game, whereas when we met, right, like I would carve out all of October to play NBA 2K.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't recall then it affected me, but I like now I can tell when I am sitting down at work or playing a video game, just looking at a screen too long. And it happens way more than I want. So, just imagining how much that can affect a kid.
A kid whose brain is not fully developed.
Yeah.
And their logic is not a thing. So, I mean, when they're this young, their brains are like, so our kids are 8 and 10. Their brain's like a sponge absorbing everything. And so, I mean, I have friends who have kids that are our kids' age that have a full phone, full access to the whole world wide web.
Yeah, that whole supercomputer.
Oh man, and it's in their hand all the time. And then they're taking it to school and they're on the bus and they're around other kids and they're doing all the things and their brains are soaking up every single bit of that, including that idea of scrolling, that mindless scrolling. And what is that doing to their development? What is that doing to how they can live their life as a kid and have a childhood? And one of the things, and I'm not sure who said it or where I heard it, but it was probably something affiliated with Wait Till 8th, I think.
Okay.
But if you want a kid's childhood to end, hand them a smartphone. And then they stop playing, they stop, goofing off and being silly, interacting with friends and family. And if you drive by a bus stop, you see every kid on the phone. They're not talking, they're not hanging out.
That's true. I'm at a bus stop. My bus stop experience. Well, I remember in Virginia specifically. I remember being kind of in the country, and I had no phone. I think my sister had a car phone. I think she had a car, like in the bag. What do you mean?
Year.
Remember, I'm like just a tad bit older than you, right?
But your sister is 10 years older than us.
9
years older than you, so like 12 years older than me.
Yeah, actually, I think it was like in the bag, like the car, not the car. Yeah, it was a car phone, cell phone, but it was in a bag. Anyways.
They couldn't do anything.
Yeah, no, you were just like making calls at that point. But I remember playing Power Rangers by myself with a stick because my mom didn't let me have swords. Mm-hmm. And this has nothing to do with that. But I wasn't sitting there on the phone, right? No. Heads up, like I was using my imagination.
Right.
Even if I was just playing with myself outside and people driving by and I'm kicking the air.
One of my biggest childhood bus stop memories is singing that song. Oh, what is that song? And I swear. Yeah.
Outside?
Yeah.
Was it
with
cold?
Like with the whole bus stop.
Oh.
It was like all of us.
What year was this? What grade was this? What grade do you think it was? Well,
I stopped going to public school in 6th grade, so it was probably like 5th-ish.
Wow.
Grade. Yeah.
By the moon, that one. The stars and the light.
In the sky.
Oh, in the sky. But you know what?
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Oh gosh, we just lost followers.
All 5 of them?
All 5 of them. They're all gone now. The bus stop is supposed to be a fun time, right?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there are probably less memories now happening at a bus stop than there was back in our day.
And I just saw a post on one of the local mom groups. It was an elementary school. A mom was posting, hey, if your kid has Snapchat, make sure you're checking their private chat. I don't even know how you would check that. I thought all of it goes away. I don't know. But people were like, I'm sorry, why do elementary school students have Snapchat?
Yeah.
Like, why? There was some like mean girl text going on that was like bullying some little girl. in elementary school. Why? You are 10.
Nah,
why are you, or younger, why are you dealing with this?
that is some BS.
Yeah, that's full malarkey.
That is some BS. So would you say that, based off of what we were just talking about, would you say that screen time is making kids lazy?
I don't necessarily think screen time is about lazy kids or, ruining your eyes or whatever. But I think it is silently and quickly sabotaging kids' physical and mental health. Like, if you don't have to go outside and play, if your option is, even if you're like an athletic kid and you like sports, if your option is, well, I can sit inside and play video games or I can go play basketball, you're picking video games. Like, just like you and I, like, oh, I could go for a walk, or that new show I like just came on. I'm going to sit down and watch the new show. Like, it takes some kind of self-control that I just don't think kids are capable of just yet,
Yeah, no, I think you have a point. I was listening to Myron today.
Love Myron.
And I may do another reaction video to a segment that he did if I could go back and find it. So I won't ruin it for you because it wouldn't be a reaction video if I said it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I guess this is just for me.
Squirrel.
Yep. Squirrel moment. But you were talking about how elementary school, or even, I mean, at any age at this point, right?
Yeah.
Kids having a phone at too young of an age, having Snapchat or whatever other. I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm getting older because I don't know what the other apps.
I think the biggest one is still Instagram for like...
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if there's something else, I think there's like chatting apps that I am unaware of, but I think Instagram and TikTok are like the big ones.
Okay.
I think only old people are on Facebook. I think TikTok's for old people.
Think TikTok's for old people? You mean like TikTok for younger people?
Not TikTok, Twitter, X.
Twitter, X. Yes, X.
I think that is, but I think Instagram is what I'm seeing like more and more of like our friends, older kids having. And, but it's also super dangerous too. It's full of predators and groomers. And
so why do you think that they being parents, I guess maybe... I was going to say no offense, but I guess it's like some slight offense, give access to, do you think it's, for instance, like you just said, you pointed out that, hey, elementary, they had access to Snapchat. Why do you think other kids, like parents, give access to Snapchat? Is it a thing like, hey, you just don't know, or that they are having a fear of missing out or something?
So I would love to believe that parents just don't know. And that it is just an ignorance that they are just unaware of. Makes me want to barf to think that a parent could know the dangers and be like, oh, my kid will be fine. Because no, they won't. No, they won't. I do think
so it's like, sorry, I'm trying to get better at cutting you off, but never mind.
We've been together for 14 years. That's what he knows. So I think like there definitely is the phrase FOMO, like fear of missing out. Okay, so yes, your kid is going to beg you for a smartphone. Our kids are 10 and 8 and they beg us for a phone every single day. It's never happening. They know it's not happening. They are fully aware that it is never happening. We have told them when you're 18 and you can buy your own smartphone, have at it. Even if you live here, it's all you're good, do it. While you are 17 and under, you will not have a smartphone. I don't care if you can buy one yourself. It's not happening. So I think that the fear of missing out is a huge thing. And parents say, and for some reason, I joined this Facebook page that irritates my soul 90% of the time.
So why did you join it?
I don't know.
Did you have a fear of missing out? Did you have some FOMO?
No, I thought it was going to be helpful because it's like parenting in the tech world or something like that. And parents will post like, oh, like my kid asked for this. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Or my kid asked for TikTok. What are the dangers? My kid wants to play Fortnite. What do I need to know? And some of that stuff I think is helpful.
Okay.
But then their parents are like, oh, my daughter said her friends won't talk to her if she doesn't have Snapchat. Well, then your kid needs better friends. Like, I don't understand why. And they're so worried about their kids missing out on these, Snapchat or Instagram, whatever. And they're not, yes, your kid might miss out. Your kid might not get invited to the slumber party. Your kid might not be up on the latest gossip. Your kid might not know the latest drama. Who cares, right? Your kid's going to care because they're in 6th grade and their logic is not there and their hormones are insane and they're going to be mad at you. Okay? They are. It's fine. Our kid tells us all the time how mean we are because they can't have a smartphone. Like, it's fine. But would you rather them miss out on the, sextortion that goes on in schools, this, hey, send nudes, the, hey, so-and-so is having sex with so-and-so, or all this, like, peer pressure and talk of that's just, like, so inappropriate and so unnecessary for children. Not to mention, that's just amongst their friends.
Yeah.
But not to mention the groomers and the pedophiles who literally know exactly how to infiltrate friend groups so that you think they're another 13-year-old girl. Like, I know my true crime might be coming out, but
no, I mean,
it's a real thing.
I think it's absolutely plausible at this point because of AI, right?
Oh, jeez, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no,
Gross.
I mean, like, anyone can become a girl. Anybody can be...
Take your kids off. It's disgusting. Don't do it.
Anybody can become a girl right now.
Yeah.
Right? Or not become a girl.
But say.
But say that they are.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway, so yeah, I think that there is so much of this, like, popularity contest. They want to be cool. They want to fit in. But your child's mental health is at risk and their self-worth is at risk. And if you think about, I've seen endless moms be like, oh, I'm taking a break from Snapchat because Instagram because I just got so wrapped up in this, like, idea that I have to be perfect or that my house has to look a certain way. We are whole adults who know full well that behind that pretty picture is all the dirty dishes they shoved to the side. Like, we can logically work through that is not real life and they are showing their highlight reel. And I personally think Instagram's a great place for a highlight reel. You don't have to put all your dirt out there, right?
Yeah, no. But if you cleaned your kitchen and it's looking sparkly, then go ahead and show it off for the 8 hours that it's clean while you sleep.
Yeah, while you sleep, only wise. But kids don't realize that. Kids don't realize that behind that clean kitchen is all the dirty dishes. Or behind, that little girl who did get ready with me, and now that, your daughter's feeling like she's not pretty enough or she doesn't have the right makeup or the right skincare or whatever. But that's just not real life all the time. And so if parents and adults are saying, like, I need a break from this, but then we're giving our kids full access to it, how is that working? Yeah. That's not logical at all.
So the thought that came to me, right, as we're just talking about all of I'm a dude, right? And so even as a middle school dude, right, like, I was exposed to pornography pretty early.
Mm-hmm. And that was without smartphones.
And that was without smartphones, right? I think, third, fourth grade, right? Mm-hmm. So I was around.
You were 8.
I was our kids' age right now, right?
We have a third grader right now.
And if I had a smartphone after being exposed, and for me, I don't know what do parents do to guard, right? Like, I know the carriers, Verizon, T-Mobile, that they offer some things to help protect or mitigate or even give alerts off to. I don't know what all they are because I haven't explored them. But I know that as a kid, if I would have had access to a smartphone, I mean, I had access to a computer. I remember our first computer, it had Windows 95, 98 on it, right? Check.
Aging yourself.
I am. I mean, I'm looking forward to 40.
Yeah.
So, but I remember being that age, we had a first computer, family computer, but I got home first before everybody else, right? And I remember going and looking up porn, right? And I remember the computer getting infected.
Oh, jeez.
And the person so mom being married once upon a time, 3 times upon a time. 2 to the same person, 1 to a different person. But the second marriage is how me and my younger sister got here. Right? So kudos. Anyways, I felt like I had to throw that out there.
That was weird.
It was. Anyways, but the person that my stepfather at the time gave our computer to was his brother. Brother also being a pastor. Right? So it's like my step uncle. I don't know if he actually said anything to anybody because no one said anything to me. But I know, looking back now, like, the reason that it got infected was because of all the things that I was the world was my oyster, or all of 1998's oyster,
Right.
however was that point.
So now think about it as today with these kids with the smartphones. And even if it's not like a gross thing, they're curious. They have questions. They hear something at school. They don't know if they can talk to mom and dad. So they look it up and then they find all the things. And I mean, we've heard of people who've like, they got an ad that looked totally harmless and then it led to this. And the other thing I think we have to remember is that our kids are smarter than us technological wise.
Next time on the Wonder and Wildflower podcast.
Saying that it's ever going to be risk-free, right? Yeah. But we also have had very specific conversations with our kids. Our kids know about sex. Our kids know about porn. They know what to do if they find something like that. They know that if they come to us with that, they're not going to get in trouble. Thank you for joining us at Wonder and Wildflower podcast, where we talk about the beautiful chaos of family life.